This is the Witcher podcast on TV Podcast Industries, and we're back talking about The Witcher Blood Origin, Episode 2 of Dreams, Defiance and Desperate Deeds.
Fjall and the Lark were spotted in Eile. I've stationed troops south of there. Won't be long.
I've heard this bleating before. You incompetent.
They're alone. They won't last long.
And if they do, two warriors who overcame all obstacles, stacked against them, bound together by destiny, etc., etc. There's enough of a seed there to grow a powerful story that the peasants can latch onto. A story beyond our control.
Stories can be put down with steel.
History is littered with fools who believe the very same. Control a story, control the world. Put them to clay.
Welcome back, fellow Witchers. This is our chat about the second episode of The Witcher Blood Origins, Episode 2 of Dreams, Defiance and Desperate Deeds. I'm one of your hosts, Derek, again.
Hello there, fellow Witchers. Welcome back. I am one of your other hosts, John.
And I am Chris, asking, what happened to episode 1.5 of C, and more C? Like, we jumped straight from B to D. I don't get it. No.
Maybe it's just every second letter of the alphabet they're doing.
Well, I'm looking forward to all the Fs.
There you go.
In episode 3.
There you go. We will see when we get to episode 3. Just a short break there between our first episode and second episode. I'm going to let everybody in the secret. The reason why we're having breaks is because I can't say Blood Origins without saying Blood Oranges. It's just going into my head, so I keep having to edit it out and re-record. So I gave myself a little break to get my head around Origins. But yes, into the second episode. Hope you've watched this episode. We're going to go spoiler filled, of course, as we always do, into the second episode of the show. The show, of course, is based on the book series by Andrzej Sapkowski and the game series from CD Projekt Red. Showrunner Declan Barra and executive producer Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich. This episode was directed by Vicky Jewson again, director of the movie Close, starring Noomi Rapace, and also the co-director of episode 1 as well.
Yes, very good.
And the episode was written by Alex Meenehan and Alan Stewart-Ahn. Alex was an executive story editor on Moon Knight last year, which we covered on the podcast
very good.
Here. And he co-wrote episode 4.
Excellent.
Lovely.
Yeah, so another a Moon Knight alum over here for the Netflix show. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Aaron wrote an episode of the recent Guillermo del Toro's anthology horror series Cabinet of Curiosities as well. So also a Netflix writer.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're very much into, they pulled from known quantities for this, and we're seeing that more and more as we get deeper each year. Yeah. Anything Netflix in our kind of wheelhouse, there's a lot of crossover, kind of cross-pollination, because when they find good talent, they're like, okay, we'll keep you. You're interested in some fantasy here, go do some fantasy project.
Yeah.
Oh, you want some horror? Come over and write this really well-known horror kind of stories.
Exactly. It's almost like the old studio system with Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah. The only one they haven't cracked is superheroes.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. Like they have yet to do that. They've yet to crack. I'm assuming that's 2025.
Maybe they did try with the Defenders, of course. That's where we got our first start on Netflix shows, was back with the Defenders. So
yeah, but yeah. I was more going Miller World. Mm-hmm. They did one show and then walked away.
Which we also walked away before podcasting on that one as well. Yeah. So yes, but at least they know the world of The Witcher really well and been doing lots and lots of stuff in The Witcher with the original 2 series of The Witcher, 2 more to come at least, and the animated show, and now 4 episode seasons of Blood Origin as well.
Yes.
So they know this world well. John, do you want to tell us what they gave us with your synopsis for the second episode of Blood Origin?
Sure. The band of 3, Eile, Fjall and Scian, formulate a plan to obtain coin to raise sellswords to take their fight to the Golden Empire. On breaking and entering a bank to rob, they find the coffers empty and that they are surrounded by soldiers of the new empire who are hunting them. As they defend their position, they fight back the soldiers, but Scian is seriously injured, and the soldiers try a new tactic to smoke them out of the bank. They manage to escape, but Scian's condition is deteriorating, and they have picked up a tale from the town. After searching for herbs to heal Scian's wound, they return to find a man standing over her. He's called Callan, and with his butcher blades is known as Brother Death. He has no love for the new army of the Golden Empire and joins them in their quest, telling them of a healer, Zachary, in the Marsh of the Mists, who can aid Scian, and the band of 3 becomes 4. Meanwhile, a young dwarf named Meldoff with her trusty warhammer named Gwen is on a mission to track down an army sergeant, Talisum the One-Eye, who has been using and abusing other female dwarves. Meldoff and Gwen catch up with Talisum, who loses more than his other eye. In Xin'trea, the puppet Empress Merwin plots to retake control away from Balor. She enlists the mage Avala to be her protector after he saved her from an assassination attempt, and also to be her eyes and ears around court. Heading out into the city under disguise, Merwin discovers some juicy information on Captain Eredin that she uses to offer him a proposal to overthrow Balor. Elsewhere, still insecure about his lowborn status, Balor returns to the power within the monolith with 2 child sacrifices. But the energy that Balor is given is only fleeting, a mere taste of the chaos magic. He is told by the Force that to truly obtain the full power of this magic will require true sacrifice, not tokens. Eile, Fjall, and Callan arrive at the healers with Scian, where she is healed to full health. While there, they also discover the mage Sindril, who managed to escape his imprisonment at the hands of Balor by using the monoliths to travel between different points across the continent. The group realize they can enter the palace at Xin'trea and destroy the master monolith by traveling between them. The band of 4 becomes 6. As they use the monolith to transport to Xin'trea, things do not go as smoothly as they had hoped. The band are confused as to why there are now 2 moons in the sky, and why a beautiful aquatic flower is in fact a fierce monster chasing them down.
Netflix ending.
I love the ending. I just loved how the Lark is kind of just looking at this beautiful flower coming out of the water. The next thing, there's this monster. It's like, get the monolith open. We need to escape here.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I was literally waiting for the don't touch that dial, folks.
Absolutely. Now playing in 30 seconds, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good stuff. We are obviously not going to talk about episode 3. We're just going to talk about episode 2 with our major big moments that we want to talk about from the episode. I want to talk about the introduction of Meldoff, the dwarf with her hammer, Gwen.
I loved this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was like a standout character, standout performance. Yeah. And I was just like, what? Wait, what? Huh? Yeah. And it was just progressively got better and better and better as we saw her throughout this episode. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I like her. I could do with this characterization more.
Yeah, absolutely. I just really enjoy her arriving at the brothel to try and find this I guess evil man that she's been looking for, the army sergeant Talisum the One-Eye, trying to find him at the brothel. And I kind of like the guy at the door who's an elf, saying effectively everybody here hates dwarves. People inside are all drunk, all high, all have weapons, and they hate dwarves even more than I do. So you wanna get out of here. But she doesn't take the hint. Goes in through a window, and we have a wonderful comedy moment almost as she hacks and slashes her way through the building. You see bodies flying out of windows as she goes through, and then you realize, even though she's killed everybody in there, she still hasn't found her target as well. So, just comes out covered head to toe in blood, talking to her hammer, Gwen. But we do learn the reason behind it is much more serious. Gwen was, her one true love that was taken, and killed by Talisum, which is why she's on the way and why she's named her hammer Gwen as well. So, that was quite interesting when we finally see the dead one-eyed Talisum and, written in his entrails and blood on the wall is what he's done. He's a rapist and murderer, and she's finally gotten the prize. So, So it's interesting, isn't it? We heard in the first episode she's going to be one of the 7, but we don't have any interaction between her and any of the other members of this crew that we've seen build up throughout these 2 episodes. So
no, I think the narrator even says she's on her own mission at the moment.
Yeah.
So I liked it, getting introduced to the character, but it is just a bit separate. And it's like, to your point from the first episode, Chris, you get some backstory, of her here. Something meaty to sort of hold on to, really. Certainly, it's kind of more rounded than, say, Brother Death or Callan, who just kind of popped up.
He's like, surprise!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I am a big bad surly man. Yeah. They killed my village. I'm going on an adventure. Exactly. It's like, people, you were so close. Anyway, sorry, continue. Sorry.
No, but that's literally my point. It's kind of just the treatment of the 2 characters is the thing that's slightly jarring here. Yeah. But because Callan does look cool. I like the butcher sort of hatchets. I like, Brother Death. It's kind of like, okay, it's pretty full on name. Yeah. So it must have a reputation. But all we really kind of get in this moment is that, he joins them because he's no fan of this new empire who effectively came and burned his town down, and knows a healer, in the Marsh of the Mists that can save the injured, Scian. So, it's just, I guess it's just the treatment of the 2. It's a little sort of bit of a contrast, really. And yet, I would have really liked if Callan had gotten the same treatment as Meldoff, to be honest, because that was just so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but also in the same way, we have the introduction of, as you say, the mages. Sindral we knew from the first episode, but we don't really know anything at all about the other mage that's introduced here, do we? Just that she's really good at curing.
And a celestial twin, which we just learned about like 3 minutes earlier.
Exactly.
So on Meldorf, I absolutely loved her introduction. It's like she was a character I'm really enjoying. The only qualm I have is I would have liked to see the 5-minute preceding her killing the guy who killed Gwen.
Right.
Basically, we got this really funny, cool scene, and she's off to try and find him again. And then it's cut to, she found him, he's already dead. Yeah. You don't get that part. You don't get his death or speech or anything. We just get her writing the entrails, the rapist and murderer. But you get that nice monologue where she's talking about Gwen to Gwen.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was cool. And it rounded out the character. But then we get Brother Death. And it was literally like, oh, scary man following him. Like, oh, cool. We're going to see, he's going to stalk them for a while. We're going to get some cat and mouse. And he's just there. And then he's like, I'm no friend of them either. They burned a village that took me in. Oh, God, people, like, you need to.
Yeah.
This is not network television, and this is my problem with this episode. We're going to get more into it, and I'm going to discuss it very quickly in a second, because I don't want to take all of your point there. But
that's
like,
all right. Right.
This is not network TV. They could have made each of these an hour and 1 hour and 1 minute.
Right.
And given us an extra 15 minutes, and you could have given some extra time to each of these. Just even 5 minutes more to each of these scenes.
Yeah.
2 minutes more. You would have got it. But all of these episodes seemingly are like 43, 42. Like, they're all short enough. I think the first episode is the longest at 50 something.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. No,
like,
it is.
when you don't have that, you have a limited series. You know you've got 4 episodes. Why not go for that hour mark where everyone else goes for that hour mark?
Yeah.
When you have that choice. But they're doing leaps and bounds in narrative storytelling throughout this episode.
Yeah.
But there's no payoff. Except with Meldorf, where you get like who is Gwen? Like there's a payoff there.
Yeah. I think the Lark and I think Fjall probably have that payoff as well to some extent. But
Yeah.
And Scian, because she's played by Michelle Yeoh, has that presence where you're kind of going, I don't really need a backstory to her. I know she's kick-ass. I know she, I know she has that history with the other characters, and that's kind of all you need from her. But I know what you mean when you're bringing in 3 other characters who are all joining up with the group. I guess we may get that in the next episode, of course. That's always the thing to hold out for when you don't get your intro to each character, because it could feel like each episode is an intro. And as we mentioned before, if it was an 8-episode season, you would probably have one episode to introduce each character and then a big battle at the end. So you may just get a sitting around the campfire flashback to story of what's happened with Callan and the other 2.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is with Callan, at the first instance of seeing him sort of looking over the village where they'd just done the bank robbery, I actually thought he was the guy from the first episode who was in the bar that they were in. He looks over and they've gone. And so I thought, yes, this is a tale. He's hunting them because of the reward and all that. So I immediately thought it was him. And it
was him. That was him.
Okay, grand. Yeah. So, maybe, is that the introduction? But it's just like blink and you'll miss it. But I mean, yeah, nonetheless, you think with a name like Brother Death, there will have to be
butcher knives.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. We're going to get like, he used to be a butcher and then they killed his family and then he became Brother Death.
There you go, Chris.
And goes after them. And now they killed his village. So he's bringing the death to them.
There you go.
One brother at a time. Like, it writes itself in a flashback.
That's very Quentin Tarantino.
Thank you.
No, exactly. So, I mean, it was a shame because, Meldoff, I just loved this. It was, that's short storytelling and giving an awful lot, but really meaningful. Yeah. And unfortunately, Callan, in a sense, didn't get that same treatment, which maybe you'll get in episode 3.
Absolutely. So, and also the benefit of Meldoff's story is that we haven't really seen dwarves in this world. We haven't seen how they're treated by other people. So seeing her and the way that she's treated by the brothel owner and what he's saying, the elves and how they would treat Meldoff if she's seen inside, that gives more context of another group within this world, which is totally overrun by elves. My God, the budget for pointy ears this year with Rings of Power and this must be just massive.
I'd say if you'd gotten into that gig in New Zealand for Peter Jackson's, you're now a multi-millionaire. It's like making elven ears.
You're printing pointy money.
Exactly.
There you go. But that was my big moment for the introduction of Meldoff. Chris, how about you? What's your big moment from the episode?
Perfect. I am going to take a positive and negative. I'm going to talk about a bank job goes awry. So, this bank job at the beginning of this episode is bloody cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fight scene, the style they shot it in, the use of slow-mo, and it's not even, it's almost not even slow-mo. It's like, I think like 0.75 speed.
Right.
It's like it's not like half speed. It's that kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's very much like a John Wick as well. Like they just slow down a portion of the time lapse.
It's like focused filming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Like fantastically, like they go form up like a phalanx. They use that training, and Scian is perfect in that kind of mentor role, telling them what to do, and then you get the Lark like getting emotional and kind of breaking formation, and it's a fun like couple of minutes where you get all this blood and guts, and you're like, oh my God, this is really great. And I have to admit, I really enjoy this. When it shines with the battles and this, it really shines. Like it's that same level of choreography where we got in Witcher Season 1, where you see Geralt fighting with his swords in the middle of the village. Like, it's that just kind of guttural, kind of very much violent. No, I wouldn't say violent, but it's not just violent for the sake of violent. It's much more kind of visceral. There we are. Probably a better term.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed that. Like, and that's why kind of the positive to this bank job part.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started getting into it, but the negative for me was the Scian getting injured and kind of almost dying.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have enough empathy or emotional connection to this character.
Yeah.
Except that it's Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Like, that's they skipped the shorthand where she was kind of fine and then all of a sudden she's on death's door and dying.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she has to be saved in the next 5 minutes or she's going to be forever. And like, you're like, okay, I'm to care why, aside from that I know this actress and I know she's one of the seven.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just, they unfortunately skipped the beats to where you really need to connect with this character a bit more.
Yeah.
And it was just used as, it's terrible, it's used as a plot device. Yeah. And it wasn't earned. Yeah. And that was my problem with this.
I think as well, though, I think the character is standoffish. You know, she is this kind of teacher. So, I mean, even just that fight in the first episode. So, I don't know to what extent you need, or they have built a character here that will have a lot of empathy, because it's very much, she's an instructor, and very much sees herself as that. But I'm totally with you on what you're saying, because I just didn't feel it needed to go as far as that. I mean, ultimately, it's a plot device to get to the healer and ultimately come across the two mages that we hear about right at the start of episode 1.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you on it. I'm not entirely sure we're going to necessarily get a lot to be empathetic with Michelle Yeoh's character, because I just feel the nature of that character is this, you know, headmistress, standoffish instructor type thing. But I think you're totally right. Even with that, you know she's an integral part of this band. So you know she's not going to die in this moment.
Yeah.
And I think they did it better with, even though I didn't quite understand how a man, so from the first episode with the ambush, I didn't quite understand how a man who had an axe thrown into his back was still able to then wound Fjall right at the end. But the idea that they are picking up wounds makes sense to me, because otherwise it's like, well, they're indestructible.
Yeah.
You know, the opposite becomes the case where it's like, well, we know there's no danger here. Here, it possibly just didn't need to be quite as severe. I mean, in the end, the blade was poisoned, and so it rapidly, went from her walking fine with some aid to literally looking like death's door. Yeah. So, but I think the injury in and of itself, grand, because it's brutal fight scenes. So getting an injury is good, but it served the purpose simply to get to the healers. And that was it, really. And that's where you run into that problem
jarring kind of connection
of quick storytelling, because it needs to do that, because you've got effectively 86 minutes left after this episode. From a pure technical and storytelling point of view, that is the case. There is. I
don't mind plot devices at all. It's just when you can feel the plot device while you're watching the episode. That's right. The problem. Like, if Callan had come in and saved them when they were doing the bank job, if he'd come to their aid there and gotten injured, and to help him out or to reward him for helping them out, they took him to the healers, then that would be your plot device where you wouldn't feel it.
Agreed.
Whereas here, I think I audibly said when I watched it, well, they're not going to kill Michelle Yeoh. That's why most people are tuning into this show that may not have watched The Witcher before. This is Michelle Yeoh. Everybody loves her. They're watching the show for her. There's no way she's only got 3 scenes and this is actually a cameo. It's been set up in the first episode that there's going to be 7 of them. So, you can't take out Michelle Yeoh. She was listed in that number. So it just felt like I'm watching a plot device to get us together with the rest of the troop. So I totally agree with you guys.
I think for me, it would have felt more natural, as we had already seen Fjall kind of looking at his wound from he received in episode 1.
Yeah.
You saw him treating it later in the episode. That could have been the reason to go to the healer.
Yeah.
And it would have been more natural, because then you could see, like, at the beginning of the episode, he's already holding it and it looks like it has a few black tendrils. Mm-hmm. And then after the battle, because his heart rate's up, it's like it's spread through his system even more.
Yeah.
That's how you kind of weave it naturally into that story that's already happened.
But it would have been, I mean, as I say, how a man with a massive axe out of his back and had no spinal injury whatsoever was able to sort of lift up and do a cheeky slash to the side of Fjall's body. I'm still not entirely sure I understand that, but maybe that's the way they were going. He's the one that needs to get to the healer, and in the end they decided to do Scian. Yeah.
She actually had COVID in this way. Like, do you know what? She already looks like death. Let's just put her in the corner and leave her standing there. Yeah, you look great, honey. Don't worry. We're just gonna film you on death's door. Okay, that's your COVID mask back on, everyone.
Could be.
So look, that's overall. Look, I really enjoyed the fight scenes where this episode excels at that kind of conflict in the battle and the choreography.
Yeah.
And then my downside is, where it goes awry, is just the narrative leaps it's taking and the choices. And I was just like, oof. Yeah. Okay, we first learned about celestial twins. Mm-hmm. And then we heard about them a second time, a couple of seconds later, and we know now they're a bit magical extra. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool.
It is really hard to take notes on fight sequences because you're watching them and going, this is a really good fight sequence. My only note about this is the final three guards lock them in, set fire to the place, and they escape through the dwarf's hole. I remember watching the scene though, so I know that didn't mean what I think it means, and I've written it down here. But
that was actually a funny scene though, where you see where's the back door? This is a bank. There is none, and then you see the dwarf escape, and you're like, God damn it! He's like,
it was. I even like the fact that they got there. All the vaults were empty because with the coup, all the savers had just taken all their money out of the bank because they were worried something was going to happen to it.
Yeah. And I really did think that was quite funny that they did escape through the hole that the dwarf had gone out through, because he seemed to kind of stick up the two fingers at them after telling them there's only one way in and one way out, and then was like, well, except for this way that I've got. Absolutely. Yeah, really good stuff. Speaking of celestial twins, do you guys know who your celestial twins are? Any celestial twins? Anybody born on your birthday, same day, same time? Anywhere else?
I have a same day, not same time.
Who's your same day?
Joe.
Ah, yes. A different year, though. A friend.
Oh, you mean it's exactly the same?
Yeah, same.
Oh, well, no, I don't. There will be someone somewhere.
I've got an interesting one.
Same day,
same year, same city, but other side of the city. Andrew Scott, Hot Priest from Fleabag and Moriarty from Sherlock. Andrew Scott is it would be my celestial twin. How cool is that?
That's
cool. Definitely good. I've got Kendrick Lamar. I've got Barry Manilow.
Interesting. Barry Manilow not born the same year, though.
Not born the same year. Okay, hold on. Let me check the year.
How old are you, Chris?
You look pretty well for 57 or 87.
Thank you. I'm trying. Absolutely no one celebrity-wise. There's probably a load of other people born on my birthday, and we're a celestial twin because we're that powerful together. We're the Wonder Twins when our powers combine. Captain Planet.
Yeah.
But no.
I mean, no one I've really ever heard of.
Right.
So, no.
Just means they haven't become famous yet. That's all it is. You'll meet them at some point.
I'm the famous one. That's the difference.
There you go.
I'm the famous that they all go to and go, oh, yeah, no, that Chris Jones
It's
fella.
Chris Jones from TV Podcast Industries. He's born on my birthday. Yes.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Anyway, enough of that detour. That was your big moment from the episode, Chris. John, how about yourself? What's your big moment from episode 2?
I guess my point is Zakari and Sindril, the two majors. They're, being 5 and 6 of this band now, just one more to collect before you get a free gift. I'm glad that the band has pretty much got together.
Yeah.
Sort of halfway through, just meld off to sort of come into that fold. But I think a bit like with Callan, Brother Death. I mean, with Zakir, other than she's a healer, okay, good trait to have.
Yeah.
I like the
pretty
Marsh of
standard
Mists.
choice in RPGs and in
Exactly.
D&D, isn't it? You always have to have your healing mage with you.
I love the Marsh of the Mists, sort of the revelations that both Fjall and the Lark have to go through to make it across. You know, we hear Callan say, you know, just keep moving forward. Don't get distracted.
But he also says if he'd warned them about it, they wouldn't have been able to fight them back as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's more with, you know, we have the two mages here, and I don't know, I felt as though it wasn't big enough either, really. And I'm hoping we get some more. I mean, even with Sindril, we know that he was imprisoned by Baelor. We know that he's managed to escape that imprisonment. Again, it'd been good just to have seen a bit of that escape, seeing him moving between the monoliths, this travel function that they've got, which Ballard isn't aware of yet.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of like seeing a scene where Ballard is telling him, you know, okay, right, do some more study on the monoliths, and then he just walks into one and disappears, you know, or just walks past one and disappears. I kind of like that idea, and is gone forever. Like we've seen travel through the monoliths in season 2 of The Witcher, didn't we? We saw Yennefer travel through one, as far as I remember. Been a year now, but so we have seen this. So now we're seeing how that all started, effectively.
But it's even that, you know, I guess if this was longer, you're not even seeing the moment where Balor has been told that effectively his mage that is telling him doing all the calculations has effectively escaped.
Yeah.
So we don't get any sense that there's something awry there. And really, we just see Balor having, you know, a pretty relaxing spa treatment with his chief of staff. So it didn't feel kind of connected. It was just suddenly Sindril was there, and yes, there was an explanation, but actually the payoff really was more with that final part where he travels to a new world, one in which there is monsters that begin to attack them, despite camouflaging themselves as beautiful aquatic plants, and with the two moons. That to me was the payoff, not sort of seeing some kind of, you know, a frenzy of activity, and an anxious, Balor, and then maybe coming to it, you know? So it's just suddenly he popped up there, and I was like, oh, hi, what are you doing here? Okay, it gives us this explanation. And then I guess with Zakir, we just need to get to know her more. And I guess, as you say, then the celestial twins element to this, which we see Balor using for his sacrifice. And I think that's the interesting thing, whether these two mages will become the true sacrifice that this entity is looking for.
That would be not surprising.
No, exactly.
Well, almost like it's written in the stars.
It is, but I mean, initially my kind of thoughts went to Balor's like second in command, like it almost the lady that's with him.
Oh yeah, I was 100% that literally when he said I require more, he'd turn around. I was expecting him to turn around and go, okay, here you go.
It feels to me, you know, she's like, you know, the blue bloke you see next to the Emperor in Star Wars all the time, but I mean, I still don't really know the name that kind of follows the Emperor around. It's like his PA, effectively. Okay. I guess all dark dictators need a PA.
Yeah, you do. Do you know how hard it is to run an empire by yourself when you are a dark dictator? You have so much darkness dictating. You need someone just to help you kind of be that assistant to bring it all together.
So you need to bounce your ideas off somebody else. You know?
So initially, that greater sacrifice, I thought it was going to be her because, you know, you had that moment where he's confiding in her. So he trusts her. Yeah. It's like there's something more than just being a PA there. But we see that, you know, there needs to be a true sacrifice. So I'm guessing these two mages better be careful around whose company they keep, especially Balor's.
Sindel is the key to everything. Like, if it wasn't for Sindel, then Balor wouldn't have gotten the power, wouldn't have gotten access to this. And, the big moment here is that he's trying to get this chaos magic. He's trying to take that and infuse himself with the chaos magic. So, yeah, you would assume that he's effectively going to have to give up the work that Sindel could potentially give in the future in order to get the chaos magic, so that's what I think is the big sacrifice. Either you can keep Sindel, he can keep exploring what's happening in the monoliths and learn how to do everything, or you toss him in the hole and get the power for yourself, basically. So, that's where it feels like it's going.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this just felt a little bit flat, but it's all kind of intertwined with what Chris was saying around with Scian, because it's just, the healer puts the hand on and she's fine. It's hunky dory. There's no danger there in that sense. So it all kind of melded a bit into that, really. And as I say, for me, the whole payoff was the mess up on the traveling between the monoliths, and it was almost to a comedic effect for me. And I thought that was really good. But again, I think Sindel and Zakir, along with Callan, they just need a bit more flesh on the bone. And I'm guessing we'll get that in episode 3. And so in some ways, I'm guessing for me, I just need to see what episode 3 brings for these 3, members of this 7, this epic 7.
Yeah. They certainly don't have the ability that you would have in other longer form shows to tell those side stories if they don't need to. These are other characters coming along, but I will give them a little bit more credit than you're giving them, because what we really learnt from this moment here is how the hell 7 people are going to take down an entire empire full of warriors. The big moment of revelation here is there is a master monolith, and if you destroy the master monolith, that ends the power that Balor has. So there is a little bit more of a revelation to them there. But yes, you're right. You don't get enough of the character. We've said that with some of the other characters in this episode. So I am hoping we'll learn a bit more about them, especially because if they're going to be the big sacrifice, then you're going to need to feel why they should become a sacrifice.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But yeah, that is a big moment. At least we know, right, okay, we've got 6 people here, a 7th on the way, and all they need to do is get to that one big black button in the center of the city of Xin'trea and smash it, and then that's the end of the power of the bad guys. Like, that's a good thing to know by the end of your 2nd episode of 4, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like literally they have to go on a journey down a small corridor and get a small exhaust pipe in this big, massive station that will blow up the whole thing.
Exactly.
And they'll win the day.
Yeah.
And they're a small team.
A tale as old as time.
It's a plot that works in everything. Star Wars and Witcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other notes or points about the episode?
Yes, for me, just Merwin's new protector, Avila, the mage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I loved this character. Again, a bit of comedic element here with, asking him to be her protector when in fact I didn't really know what I was doing. It just happened. Yeah. And then I want you to be...
Which is exactly why you should be my protector.
Yeah, and then it's like, I want you to be my spy. And I was like, well, I've never done that before. I'm gonna die. It was just the whole notion of like, oh god, I'm gonna die. But I just loved how the actor just made him so nervy. So I really like the introduction of this character.
Absolutely. And I like
as
the twist.
Merwin's protector.
Yeah, and I like the twist from Merwin where she's basically saying, well, you're going to die anyway because they know now that you're my protector, and that means they're going to kill you first and then they're going to kill me. So you might as well be my spy anyway because you're going to die one way or the other. I also love his introduction with his real name of Crevan Espan Abe Quavon Maka. Most people call me Avalok. No wonder. So I thought that was really good as well. So,
yeah, definitely. And also finding the chief of the guard, Eridan, and his lover, and that Merwin actually didn't need her spy, that she just recruited because she found that out all by herself.
Yes.
But puts a proposal to him around overthrowing Balor, a new beginning. I loved Captain Eridan saying it's either a new beginning or a quick end. So it was a nice little phrase.
Yes, that was a nice little twist for Captain Eridan's character. Great to see Nathaniel Curtis in here as well from the excellent It's a Sin. Great to see him back in another good show as well. So excited to see what happens between the two of them. I love that that the offer there from Merwin is that he can become part of the upper echelon of society. We hear a lot throughout these 2 episodes about the lowborns versus the higher society of elves. So once again, a character that's from the lowborn shouldn't be involved in the upper class effectively. And that's the offer on the table from Merwin, that maybe we can get him installed. You can have the right to marry the person that you love, and as long as you're on my side against Balor. So another good thread for her story too.
Yeah. Agreed. I like that the Empress is becoming more Machiavellian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a twist I did not see in her. I thought what was going to happen, that they were going to kind of do the redemption at the end, where she didn't know. Oh no, she didn't know it was going to get so bad. She just wanted to make things like she was brought along, but now we see that she's actually now trying to get out from the thumb. She's going to become worse. Mm-hmm. She is going to become the thing that she despises, by all means, because her whole thing is that the 2 comets that are in the sky that are currently bypassing and were last seen the last time all this happened. The prophecy spoke of this. So therefore it is prophesized again, because it has to be, because it's written in the stars. I like that bit, but then when you do see her basically threaten the general and his lover, but also kind of not, and kind of, well, wouldn't you not like that he can be?
It's
you
very
can be with him, and you're like, ooh, that you went dark quickly, like just left turn from innocence into darkness very quick.
Yeah, it's not a threat if he goes along and does what she asks him to do, though, is it?
Exactly.
A nice passive aggressive action there from her. Also, an interesting twist on what's happening with Balor asking for the death of Fjall and of Eile. Send everybody down to it, because as you mentioned before, that ends the story, and that story could develop hope for other people. Interesting twist with Merwin looking to have Fjall brought back to her alive to sire her child, because she needs an heir. So effectively, the captain is between both of them. He's the one in charge of the armies, and the armies are being told to go out and slaughter Fjall, or save Fjall and bring him back safely. So let's hope they have a good system of ravens to get the correct message to the leaders in the army.
And of course, Balor does threaten the captain as well if he doesn't dispatch these 2 quickly.
Yes.
I guess Captain Eridan let off a little cheeky fart in the spa there. I guess a few bubbles just raised up and broke the surface. Because Balor was suddenly just said, you won't survive if this isn't done. Again, because don't want a hopeful story making the rounds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And finally, just for me, before we move on and kind of close up for the episode, just want to talk about the scenes in the mist. Those scenes were amazing.
They were.
Like Fjall's kind of the hallucinations, where he moves from seeing his brother and the death of his brother. The brother's like half hanging off shoulder to then him having intercourse with the princess, and then she starts crying and like bleeding black ooze all over him and drowns him. I was like, and then he falls into. I was like, that's some proper like. You could turn some of that into horror scenes, and if they had extended those and made that the whole episode, I was just like, I'm really into that. And when the Lark scene having to burn the history of her first kill per se, essentially, where she burned these people alive,
the elves,
for the death, and I was like, these just really want to just kind of give that. That was a really nice touch, and especially some of the like the design, if you want to call it, of those scenes.
Yeah. Really good stuff. So overall, John, what did you think of the episode?
Again, I really enjoyed it. I'd give it 3.5 monoliths out of 5. I think to me, it's more just having introduced 3 of the 7 protagonists here. I would really, effectively 4, with Meldoff as well. I loved the Meldoff introduction, even though she's not joined the group yet. I think the ones, unfortunately, that did join the group just needed something more in their introduction. Whether it was like Meldoff gets in this episode, maybe, Callum could have gotten more in the first episode. And then we may get this in episode 3. Really hoping so. And I think I'd probably adjust my score here. But I loved Meldoff. I loved the bank attack. I really enjoyed the visions in the marshes. There was some really good kind of comedy moments here for me around Avalak, as well as with the end. I really just enjoyed those. But again, it's still really strong for me. I'm just enjoying this world. I'm enjoying this group of characters. I think it's to the point where I want a bit more context around Callan and the 2 mages. And I'm liking the intricacies coming in Xin'trea into the city with Merwin's new protector, but also just, I certainly was not expecting them to suddenly have Captain Eridan with his lover and that whole section. So that, the politics behind this, as you say, Merwin effectively growing some nails to start scratching. She's not happy with the lot that she got from this coup. So I thought that was really good. Really enjoying this. I'm really looking forward to the 3rd episode as well. So 3.5 monoliths.
Good stuff. How about yourself, Chris? What did you think of this episode?
I'm kind of 50-50 on this one, unfortunately. We're jumping A to B to C to D, but unfortunately they're skipping B's and D's, and we just literally went, every in between letter is missing in the plot point. Central getting out, just didn't get that. Literally all it would have taken is a 30-second scene where a man running from a jail cell and touching the monolith and then disappearing. That's all it would have taken. But it's just where they're making narrative leaps, which every now and again, when I look back at it, it just takes me back out. Whereas when I'm in it, I'm like, okay, it's not bad. Oh, that's a really cool fight scene. Or, oh my God, that scene where she walks her through the brothel and beats everyone up. That was really cool. Or, oh, they're running away from a monster. The first ever monster they've seen. Not the one, the flying one from episode 1. So I enjoy the parts that we see. It's the parts that are missing that kind of just makes me question why they're missing. And again, we're 2 episodes into out of the 4. Maybe we get 3 and 4 and it starts to kind of meld it together where we talk, maybe we get the more details on the Celestial Twins. I'm not holding hope, unfortunately, because I was kind of like, oh, they mentioned Celestial Twins. Oh, they mentioned again. Okay, now we just they're expecting us to connect the dots on the sacrifice. There you go. I hope that's not the case. I know these guys have a lot more skill than sometimes they're showing, so I'm hoping maybe it's editing floor, or they were told that they had to cut from an hour to 40-something minutes, or there's something more to this. Who knows? I'm just hoping by the end of the 4 episodes, I'm like, do you know what? The whole is better than the sum of the parts. That's what I'm hoping. It told a good, cohesive story, A to Z, and we still got to Z right. It's just that second, that missing letter just kind of is just slightly starting to kind of wane on me and rub me the wrong way.
Right.
But Derek, what about yourself?
Well, as you know, our fellow Witchers who are listening along with us have already probably seen the other 2 episodes, so I know they always love our speculation about what the show is going to be leaving out when they've already seen the future episodes. So I'm not going to be as harsh on it. I do believe they have introduced a lot of characters in the first 2 episodes and still given us a really big story of what's going on, particularly in this elven society. What's going on behind the scenes of everything over there is also as important as what's going on with our 7. So I think we're probably are going to have a bit of a breather to get to know the other characters as they get to know each other in the next episode. So while not every character is going to have the same central treatment every episode that we got from Fjall and Eile in the first episode, I can imagine that we have time to do that in the next 2 episodes. They've come up with their mission. I think that means we'll get to know a bit more about them in the next episode. And what I do like about this episode, as I said, is knowing that mission of cracking the master monolith is what they have to do, and knowing what happens in the continent and up to the next 1,200 years. I'm not too sure whether that plan was the greatest of plans. We've just seen our first monster in the continent coming out of the monolith that they're about to go and destroy. And so I'm presuming this plan of destroying the monolith is going to lead to the conjunction of spheres that we know about. So I like that the plan's there. I have a feeling it's not going to go as well as they think it's going to go, which is always a good place to go within a 4-episode series. So, yeah.
Oh my God, do you imagine if Mini Driver is actually the floating ball of energy?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be a cool reveal at the end.
That would
if
be
that's
very
what they
cool.
do, I'd be like, oh, she's actually like the bad one, and Jaskir's story like is gonna feed her power. Or
there you go.
Yeah.
That could
there
be
you go.
It could be another theory that our fellow Witchers might already know
about.
But fellow Witchers, if you want to send in any feedback to us, you can email us to feedback@tvpodcastindustries.com. 2 more episodes to go. Those episodes will be out later on this week. We're going to give a little bit of break between these 2 and those 2 episodes so you can get in some feedback to us during your holidays over the holiday period. Hope you're enjoying spending some time with us over Christmas.
Yes, and hope you spend some time with your family, with us, with your friends, with your Doctor Who specials, with your catching up on your TV shows, with your films and everything in between.
Breaking my heart, Chris. No Doctor Who special this year.
What?
Off air till next year.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy.
God!
Yeah.
I did not know that, and you've just ruined my day.
So we've just got the 4 episodes of The Witcher here this year for the Christmas special.
Well, at least Netflix can schedule programs.
There you go. They know how to do it. They know how to do it. Turn them on Christmas Day. But there is loads and loads more to come from TV Podcast Industries. Obviously, the other 2 episodes of The Witcher. We will be returning to our animated Star Wars show, The Bad Batch, at the start of January. New release date for that is the 4th of January for the first 3 episodes of Star Wars, The Bad Batch. So we'll be out with that in the next couple of days as you're hearing this. And also, we will, of course, be doing our year-end wrap-up and look forward to 2023, talking about all the shows we're going to be covering. So come join us on the main podcast on tvpodcastindustries.com.
Yes. With that said and done, thank you so much for joining us for the first 2 episodes discussion. If you've liked what you've heard and you're joining us for the very first time, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to all the points, all the places. Just go to tvpodcastindustries.com, you name it, Spotify, podcast catchers, left, right, Apple, iTunes. No, just wherever you are, we're there. We make sure, Derek makes sure we're just there. So just go subscribe in all the places. Leave us a review, rate us. You know what to do. Mm-hmm. It is important. If you really want to support us further, why not head on over to patreon.com/tvpodcastindustries, where you can support us for any amount on an ongoing basis. Or if you want to do a one-off donation, why not head to buymeacoffee.com/tvpi, where you can buy our illustrious editor literally a coffee as he toils away the holiday hours editing our dulcet tones into your ear files and into your ear lobes. There you go.
Into your ear files? Awesome.
Yes, it's a file that goes in your ear.
Everything's a computer nowadays.
It is.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back for the other 2 episodes of The Witcher. See you next time.
And of course, at this time of year, please share the podcast, because sharing the podcast is, of course, sharing the Christmas love.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, guys. Speak to you again soon. Bye.
Thank you, fellow Witchers, for joining us. Be sure to be back for episodes 3 and 4 of The Witcher. In the meantime, keep watching, keep listening, and of course, keep bathing.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.